Let's get ready to rumble. Wow, 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 wow. I could go on, but then like you'd be like changing the channel real quick. What's up, everyone? I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, Starseed, Earth Angel, Mystic, Medium, Psychic, Witch, Messenger of God, Lilith reincarnated, the Dark Goddess, and all that good stuff, and I am your leader through the dark times. And the crowd goes wild. Bow, wow, wow, wow. I'm dying. What's happened? First off, it's getting harder to hold in funny stuff, dude. I'll be laughing so hard. I get so weak in the knees, like I can't hold it in. Like it literally, I have to hold a wall or something. I'll be laughing so fucking hard. So that's what happened. I saw some funny shit and I lost control. And that's pretty much it. You get like lose control. I don't know how funny you think things are, but I be laughing way too hard. You wanna know what I laughed at? It's so inappropriate. Alright. I was walking from the bathroom to the front door. And in mid-walk, I turned my head to the right, and my dog, who's currently still there, was on the pillow of my son, who's sleeping. And she was like, had a mouthful of ass, bro. She was just licking her junk. And that grosses me out. It's such a trigger. I'm like, ugh, right? So I open the door, and I look out the door, and by the time I was going to tell my daughter what was happening, and by the time I turned my head, my dog was licking my daughter's face, and I was just died, bro. I fell to the ground and died. Oh, God. I'm gonna die. I literally die. I died, but did you die? Every fucking time, dude. Like, I cannot hold it in. Like, my whole body collapses, you guys, and then these, like, noises, which are called laughter, come out, and it's like, oh my God, my face hurts. I start crying immediately. It's like an instant death, you guys. You have to witness it. It's the funniest thing. Like, and then people watch me are like, I'm just gonna laugh at her. So you make it harder. Just look away. I'm trying to get. Nobody laughs harder at myself even than me. With that being said, let's get on with it. It's Friday, Sunday. I had this really cool, like, it was like something should have been scripted in stone. I'm sitting outside, or I'm looking outside before I come in, and the sun has just rose over Denver, and it's shining on my face. I have to close my eyes, and in that moment, I'm like, it's an angel in the skin, and you get to witness what it feels like, for the sun to rise. And that's something I never really feel, hiding in the shadows, you know what I mean? I'm the goddess of the moon. It's your time, and then it's my time, and my time is in the darkness. And that's how God created me since the beginning. I fled to the dark spaces. I was always in the dark spaces hiding, I guess, hiding from God, but not necessarily. I mean, not always working with him and stuff, but always in a sacred space. All of my existences, look at it, always set apart, always in a dark place, always that mysterious woman that, you know what I mean? All of that. But in the sense of, it's like, as the moon, it's like, I know the sun, but it's like my time and your time. So it's like sunrises, I'm always up before the sun rises to pass over the moon. You know what I mean? Like Selene and Helios. And then I'm always there to catch it, you know what I mean, to watch the sun go down. And that's one of the things about, the angels they show in this movie. I'm seeing this movie. And it's like those are captivating moments that you witness here, because it's only here on the earth that you can see it in such a way. Out there, you just see everything. So going back to it, it was like living in the shadows. It's like I've always been casted into the dark places where people hide, and in those dark places, all you find is your own feelings and what you're hiding from. But then you find people that are hiding too. You come across people. Like, what's your deal? Oh, see, what had happened was my baby mama put me out, or I lost everything. There was a fire, all this shit. You find these people that are suffering and in pain just like you. Now, as though I can describe it in the older realms, it's here on Earth. You're in the streets. I can walk on every fucking one of these doors, and somebody's going to tell me a fucked up story, because we're all here on a fucked up ass story. And it's not that God doesn't love us and that nothing. It's that we have, we are in a place of, learning difficult lessons, which you would say is hell. We have placed ourselves in our own hell. How do we get out of our hell? We go back to which we've came from, and we face what we have done. and we atone for, you know what I mean, our selfish ways. It's really the truth. When it all comes down to it, it's the rebelliousness in us that caused us to go to such lengths, that set ourselves apart from that which we've come from. So going back to it is like being, the goddess of hell and, Lucifer and all of that. It's like you suffer you suffer by your own. It is the goddess of hell, and I'm saying hell from Norris. I was not her. But it's like, come on in. Sit down, take your bra off. Tell me your story. Tell me your suffering. Tell me your pain. What are you going to do to get out of here? Or you want to sit here forever and just, toast up? All right, cups up, bitch. Let's do it. You know what I mean? I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. We're going to be here. We're going to just watch it all burn. Let's, cups up. That's the streets, bro. People don't want to be of the streets, but when you end up on the streets, you find family. You find community. You find people that accept you and what you've been through and what brought you here. And we're all here in this same fucked up place. And we will offer each other, you know what I mean, a shoulder to cry on. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But you must keep there's the good. You take the good with the bad, because not all of us are here for the same reasons. And this is what I mean. Last night, I watched this dude. I swear he had a Slim Jim. I swear he did. And the guy confirmed it. He's walking around in the parking lot. I'm like, bro, you're going to steal from your own? Do you realize that most of us live in these cars? Like, you're going to go find a better car to steal, bro. Somebody that's got insurance. You don't shit in your own backyard. And that's it, too, is that we're watching. Always watching. If I'm not watching, dude, it's somebody else, dude. They're watching their block. They're trying to sell their bag. It's hot on our block, bro. And you're going to come in and try to raid our block like we in a community, like we ain't family, like we won't fuck you up? We don't like each other, but we respect each other and we look out for each other. And you know what I mean? As much as I'm looking out for my car, you're not about to get in nobody else's either, motherfucker. The best of it, and we gotta, you know what I mean? And that's it. So, there's this dude again. I seen him first thing yesterday morning when I got my coffee. He came and saw me after he got off work. You know what I mean? Shit like that. We make a community. Like, you're not my peoples, but we're peoples, bro. And, you just, wherever God's placed you, that's your place. And that's, it's not where you want to be, but you need to learn the lesson and have compassion and understanding that this is a place and time and space, too, that others occupy. Going back to, the terror that's happening to these people. They're being humbled by devastation. The fuck you think happened to me and everybody else, bro? We had a life before we had this life. And now we must learn how to survive and make the best of what we do have left. And find a different way of life. And that goes back to any of you that are getting diagnosed or you've lost somebody or anything it's called, a crisis. Christness. Where now you have to walk in faith and compassion and humility and, shit like that. So, and that's just, as the goddess of hell, it's like, I know what it means to be in the dark places. It's like, you got to see this shit to believe it. And Mr. Plum told me that was the creepiest dark shit. I don't even know, dude. I feel like they're all under a trance, bro. Never seen no creepy shit like that. Only in movies have I seen some creepy shit like that. I wasn't there long enough to even look, but my skin was scared of what it was seeing. What happened there? Down in Hugo, bro, when the sun goes down, and people told me about it, but I didn't really see it. And again, I'm made for the dark. I was working graveyard shifts. I'm a dark being. It's just I find peace in the darkness where there's not so much traffic and the humans aren't moving in the sun. The day is made for man. The day is made for man. That's that, you know what I mean? That divine masculine energy. That's your skin, bro. None of us need all that light in our fucking eyes. We don't need all that energy. We don't need to do all that shit during the day. Like, we'll chill until nighttime where we can just, chill. So anyways, going back to it. It's a lot of humility, but it's like, when you're in these dark places, you find these dark people that are just like you. And you realize you're not so dark and they're not so dark. It's just kind of a dark time and a dark situation. But we learn to find the light more than ever. When you guys are walking in the light, you're blind, bro. You're blind to it. And when darkness comes over you, you just you go into absolute shock. Now, for those of us of the dark, we also have that fear of the light. When good things happen, we're like weary. Now this sounds too good. You're out to get me. You're going to hurt me. Because we've been in the dark so long, watching out for the dark, that we don't know what the light looks like. And that's you guys too. You watch all this terror and all this dark, and you're all like, you know, afraid of every fucking person that doesn't have new clothes on. Lock the doors. Fuck, bro. You know what I mean? I just had this, and so it all came down to a couple sentences, and I want to explain it because I couldn't really explain it in a post. In the shadows, you find your shadows, but you find other shadows to make you feel at home. But it never feels like home because you're always longing and fearing to go back to the place in which you've came. And the only thing stopping you is you. All you have to do is face your shadows, what you've done that brought you to where you are. That's it. The gates are open. You can go back home if you want, or you can hang out all day in the dirty. Let's get to the shadow work. What kind of shadows are in us? What part of the inferno are you in? It was pretty deep, right? Yeah, I know. I have some depth to me. I have some depth. Okay, none of those. And that's really it. It's like, why are you afraid of your shadows? You're afraid of your feelings. Because it comes with regrets, and it comes with, you know what I mean, sorrow, and it comes with sadness. But if you learn to just understand, you learn to harness your own regrets and sadness and pain, you look to others and you have more compassion for theirs and stuff. That's it. It's like, I could sit here with you and we could feel sorry for ourselves, or I can inspire you to get out of this bullshit and go find someone else that feels sorry for themselves too. It's pretty much what I do all the time. As a light worker and stuff, you know, spreading light and shit. You know, as an alchemist, that's what they do. They bring me their sorrows. They bring me, you know, it comes out of them. I attract your shadows. Why? Because I'm attracted to them. Because I'm made of the same things. I'm made of your shadows. I'm nothing more than the shadow side of you. Those dark feelings, all the good and bad, but especially the dark ones. That's what I know most. I was created that way. Let's see. Oh, fuck, I just fucked up them all. Okay, I shuffled Dante's. We usually go one in order, but I did it, so there's no going back. Let me give it another shuffle. We usually go one at a time. We've literally just broke. That means we're not following the crowds. That's good. That's what I see. We're not following the crowds through the energy. We can go through hell as we feel, as freely. Let's see, where are we at in hell? The Empress of Desire. Hey, I am the Empress. I'm picking up the Empress. Number 5. Let's talk about it. 5. What does 5 mean? Accelerated growth, immediate change, and all that good shit. Están en español. No, we need it in English, please, and thank you. Judges of soul. Here we go. Dante enters the second circle of hell, where those whose committed sin of lust... Oh, fuck. I knew this was coming up. It came up in my community page, didn't it? Sins of lust and wantingness dwell. Here he meets a few of history's most tempted... Well, you're about to meet the best one of all. A few of history's most famed temptress, including Cleopatra, Semiramis, and Helen of Troy. Today, you are going to speak with the whole creation of that, and that is Lilith. All right. I don't want to get into this. We have Jezebel all over us. Okay, let's talk about it. I know. I'm supposed to feel bad about it. And, you know, it's a lesson that I just keep learning. Here we go again. Here we go again with this Adam and Eve and all this bullshit. It was me. All right. Let me tell the story, and then I'll tell you my story. Let's talk about these bitches. Let's point fingers at them first. And then we'll point my finger. All right. Don't point your big green sausages at me. Well, okay. Dr. Green Thumb. Though they may be condemned for their actions, one has to admire the style and vivacity of these particular groups of souls. They lived their life on their own terms, in opulence, seeking that which was delectable and pleasing their senses. Oh God, I'm feeling condemned. I'm seeing the mirror. Who is it? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is it? It's fucking Wolfman. Get out of my face, bro. I really want you out of my face, bro. I've had enough of this. I want you out of my face. Good God. Ugh. Like he shaved his head. I don't like that. You used to love pelons. Shut up. I don't like it. Why? Does his face look fat? No. Because there's certain things that happen when you shave your head, and it's like you either look good or you don't. It's like, I don't like him. Why? Trigger. He said he's from San Diego. He lived in San Diego. Trigger. Get away from me. You're fucking... Can you please go away? Please go away. Oh, God. He's bringing out all of these problems. Are you a twin flame? Could be. No, I don't even understand it anymore. Why are you doing this to me? Why, I've been projecting all hard on this guy, and I'm about to get slapped in the face. Every time we meet, bro, why you keep taking me to fucking karma, bro? You keep taking me to jail, bro. This is bullshit. I don't know where you came from and what you have to do with... I don't know what role you play in this, but I don't like the games you're playing. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm looking at it like I'm sitting there as the queen on my chessboard with all these fuckers behind me, and this fucking guy, every time, it's like, I guess I'm dealing with an emperor. I don't know how to deal with this guy. This is some bullshit. Okay, let me just tell this fucking story. Then I'll tell you mine and what he's doing in my life. I don't like you. That's why I was like, are you a twin flame? You know what? How you know it's a twin flame? It's like you really like this person, but you wish they'd just go away, because every time you face them, you have to face yourself. Go away. Oh, God. Twin flames. Jesus. That's another thing, too. You're on a Friday schedule, too, dude. Who is this guy? Did you like fucking Destiny's Son? I'm not really sure where you came from. They like really are throwing you at me. Hold on. What is it? All I see is a fucking mirror. Like, who are you? Why are you here? That's how I usually am. I'm getting karma like a motherfucker, aren't I? That's how everybody else feels. Like, God, where's this girl? Why didn't you just go away? Where did you come from? Why can't I stop? Cross watcher. On the cross, Nika. Alright, fuck. Alright, these bitches was nothing like me. And that's it, too. That's it, too. You keep bringing out the Lilith and all this. I'm telling you what to do with your tongue and telling you to... Oh, man, I'm such a projector of this bullshit. What is happening right now? I was fine till I met you. Just kidding. That's what I mean. That's some twin flame shit right there. That's when you realize, you're like, hold on a second, bro. This is past life. That's it. When you know you got, like, they were in your life, and this is, oh, man, the game of life. That's life. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I can turn dark that fast, bro, when I realize what we're doing. What are we doing? All right, let me just start over. It's like, you did this. And that's where I'm like, this is your fault. This is you. And it's like, no, I can't. I'm so far in the game that all I see is myself in the mirror. But I see myself yelling at him. So I'm like, oh, man, you've got me in fucking court again. Are we courting? Fuck me. Fuck. All right. Let me put the projection screen on for you. Although I keep condemning him for his actions, he's one to admire for the style and vivacity of his particular group. He lives his life on his own terms in opulence, seeking that which is delectable and pleasing to his senses. Oh, God, I hate you. This card reminds us that there are times when we must let our heart rule our head. Okay, now this is where it is. It's like, I'm like, oh, shit, here comes the Bobby story, here comes the Lilith story, and then all I saw was him. It's like, this is your story, but look at how you're projecting it onto this guy. Oh, this is your shadows. You project your shadows. You're like, you can't be this guy. Why? Because somebody told me I couldn't be this girl. And yet I'm letting it out, and you're letting it out, and I'm persecuting you. Because, why? Why am I persecuting you? That's what I've got myself in court for. Do you see how fast you be in judgment? Oh, fuck. Oh. See, but you better learn your lesson fast. Last time they had me on stall with you for like 3 days, bro. I know how this works. I'm learning my lessons. Quiet that nagging voice that tells you what you should do or concerns itself overmuch with the judgment and perception of others. Pause for the cause. God did this to me. I didn't even see this coming. Okay, I gotta break my chakras. Did you hear that? It was beautiful. I do a lot of that stretching too you do on the fucking shit. I just don't show you because then my boobs stick out and they're like, gosh, who is he? He's Lilith, dude. He's Lilith in a man form and he's dangerous. It's power and control. You can't fucking use the Lilith against Lilith, but it's just really, I'm just humbled by myself. Okay, so going back to it, these are all the things I had to face about it. Bobby and my lust and love for Bobby, dude, and the whole situation, right? And that's these people. That's these women, dude. Cleopatra, Semiramis, and Helen of Troy. It's like your heart got the better of you. You knew better. You are going to, they're going to burn this shit down for what you've done. Going back to Lilith, I discovered this power because I was condemned for such powers. You know what I mean? I was casted out because I would not give my sexual powers to Adam, right? So I used these powers to toy with Adam and all of mankind and everything else. But God said the power would not grow. It could only be limited in the sense of, he's like, 1,000 of your children would die. So as many as I slept with, I still wasn't allowed to have the actual experience. You're supposed to sleep with someone, have a baby, happy family. That's not what happened. And then you go back to the creepiest story. Fucking desperation at its most. And then I'm over there projecting at Kanye and Kim, who is Osiris. Oh my God, Becky, I've lost control of reality in the sense of I know exactly what's happening. All right, so go back to Osiris and Isis. What happened there? What happened? Set, the brother, Cain, killed him. Right? Same story. Baldur and fucking Loki. Fucking, shall we keep going on with these fucked up stories where the brother kills the brother? You brother killing motherfuckers. Anyways, so he kills my husband. And anyways, I end up, yeah, I don't like telling this story. It's such a shadow and shit. But anyways, I use his penis and end up impregnating myself only to have Horus. But that's a creepy story. Then you go back to Kali and Ganesh. Half beast, half man, all compassion, all love. They were great, but God, they were condemned. They were demons. They were not of this. And then it came in the scripture. Those of the hoods and this and that could still be accepted as babies. They made it as an exception for me and my mutated children. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm getting in trouble a lot, but I'm seeing the error of my ways. But I feel real asshole, and this is where I'm in jail just laughing. Like, you said what and did what. Look what you've done. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, I'm in trouble. And it was you again that got me here. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Okay, so, anyways, going back to the story. It started this morning. I got out of the shower, and I'm just sitting there drying my hair. Or something, I don't know. And all I heard was, they could never leave their queens to be with God's maidservant. And they showed me as nothing more as the maidservant, like literally in my poorness in old time. And that's it. But many fell in love with their maidservants, but they couldn't, and they would be condemned, and the maidservant would have died for their love. It was really sad. And that's really the truth, is they couldn't lose their power and authority to fall in love with the maidservant. But that is all I am. And that goes back to the priestess, though. And then they said something really close to it, or really comforting behind it. They said they could never leave their queens for the maidservant, because a commitment to you means a commitment to God, right? And they said their position is all pride, and there's no pride or gain and being in love with a maidservant of God. But there's no pride. They lose it, and that's the truth, and we've known that since the beginning. Is, no matter how beautiful and how much they love me, they would lose all respect and authority if they were like, it's a beautiful story, the Cinderella story. It's the Cinderella story. Would you literally take her off the streets, take her from rags to riches? And that's what they said. But it's more than that, because it's a commitment to God, as I am the priestess. So it's like, wow, that's really heavy. But going back to, the Bobby situation, I knew everything was wrong. But it felt right. I heard him yesterday. I heard this thing yesterday. It's like, I miss you. I miss you too, but why don't we talk? And then again this morning. It's like, I haven't done this. I did no wrong. I followed my heart. And that's, the Princess, Helen of Troy. We know that story so well. She knew she was going to die, dude. She knew she was facing a fate worse than death. But for someone to come in and love her and save her out of out of a world of war. I never loved this man. I never loved this situation. I was just put here. And you've come to save me from it. And yeah, everything burned to the ground over their love. But that was real love. And in the same chance, that's where Achilles found his priestess. And all of this change, all of this happened out of love. And that's what, that's what the king said. He's like, I fought many wars, but to fight for love makes more sense than all the others. But I won't be the one fighting this battle. I will stand behind you as you fight for that you love. It's hard to follow your heart. And that's it. I don't fault him. He had to be brave to come to me, even if it was only out of lust. But that was what bothered me so much in the beginning. I was so confused. Nobody would take such risks over a booty call. Nobody would take such risks. And when he told me he loved me, I knew that he did. And it's not that he, It's like, how could he foul his position? And that goes back to Russ. Russ loves me so dearly. But he can't take an L when all he's trying to do is win. All I do is win, 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 no matter. And it's not that he doesn't love Jonica, because Jonica has taught him so much. It's his first girlfriend. You know what I mean? How do I go from having my first girlfriend to being a husband and a father and all, a godly man when I don't believe in God? And how can I be such a person? They show them all to me and how this works. And I was like, well, these are God's works. I don't know how it works. I'm just trying to follow my heart. And it is. You understand that if I do this, and that was Tree, as much as I'm like, I felt so, I can't, going back, I can't tell you, I'm not that person. I can watch the videos, and when I witnessed it, I could maybe, but where am I going to find these? They're in there. But it's like, I'm not going to sit there and watch a replay of all my fucking hours and hours and hours of my life when I could just go back and relive it. Re-experience it by facing you. I will feel it again. I will know what it was. And that's what these trigger moments are, is that you have to be reawoken to this, what happened to you, that changed the way that you feel about yourself and about these people. And it's going to hurt. Something happened. I know what happened between me and Tree. He rejected me. And I knew and he made me feel, and he told everyone I was crazy, and I made it up. But I looked into that man's eyes. And only by looking into that man's eyes and had spent all that time with him did I feel, I didn't still. It took a week and the Holy Spirit timing me out to be like, hey, you're a great person, and you've spent all this time with me while I was going through this, and we make music, and, as I'm chasing this guy, I realize you're a great guy, and I'd like to give you a chance. And he freaked out on me. And he acted like he's like, no, you're making all this up. And I felt rejected. I remember talking to Russ about how fucked up it was. And then so I erased everything and I blocked him. And I go to a show that night and he shows up in the show and he's acting all fucking coked out on me. And he's fucking, acting like a jerk and like I'm still his fucking friend and he didn't do nothing to me to hurt my feelings. And then he just wants to use me for footage and shit. Like, I didn't just open up to you and you just reject me and now you want to act like we're just fucking friends and shit. You know what I mean? And then it got worse. You know what I mean? It got all worse. And it's like, dude, all I did was try to be brave and, give myself a chance to get close to you. And that goes back to what just happened with Bobby. It's like, fuck, bro. You have the messages to prove how scared I was to face you. I have the videos of teachings, of crying, of how scared I was and how wrong I knew this was. But I followed my heart. And I did what, everybody deemed was wrong, but I felt brave to do because I felt love for you. And then you just abandon, reject me, and disappear. And I have to be strong and brave and understand what you're going through when all I did was follow my heart. These are hard things to do. And that's where does it lead you? To self-empowerment, usually. That's it. And that's what fucking, That's what what's-his-face gets out of it. I can see him. That's what Wolfman gets out of it. Self-empowerment. Conquered and destroyed my fear. Or this person. Because in the sickest part of my soul is I still have you. You said I couldn't have you, but I still have you. And he feels it too. I still have you. I can still have you if I want you. If I fight for you. And, that's a power. And that goes back to the sexual magnetism. Is like, we can have whoever we want. Yes. But it's special to only give it to those that you want to get. You know what I mean? It's a special power that you should only give to certain ones. And I've used that power in many of my incarnations over people. And, you know, I see it used and I can sympathize with you. But why are we using such powers? Truthfully, we're really, as many women as he's going through and as many as all of this pain and suffering I'm going through is because we hope one day we'll give ourselves and someone will give themselves back to us. But in the end of just giving your body, it's just all you've given is your body. And you feel like you've lost your heart in the giving. Or your soul. I don't know. Let's talk about this. This card reminds us that there are times we must let our heart rule over our head. Quiet that nagging voice that tells you what you shouldn't do or concerns itself overmuch with the judgments and perceptions of others. At this time, choose to live for yourself first and foremost. And that's what I said. You know, when I told Marshall, I was like, I shouldn't be ashamed. And that was me projecting on Kanye and his other wife. It's like, you know, I projected on her, like, you're out there giving him head in the middle of the day in front of everybody. Yeah, I did. But why? Because I felt that much love inside of me. And that's how I learned how to, that's how I express my love. A part of me that I don't give to anybody else. I want to give to you in all ways. You know what I mean? And that's where I was like, you know, when Wolfman came up, I had all of this lust. And I didn't understand it. And because I didn't want to understand it with him, I was forced to go and go back to the beginning of when I didn't understand it, when I first faced it. It's like you can't go forward in these feelings with this guy till you face your feelings that you never faced before. Let others manage their own affairs and set your sights on what your heart desires. And that's it. It was an affair because of what he did, but he had done it before. And it's like, how many times are we going to do this? When are we going to change this? What is, you know, in the sense of I knew it would happen. And that's what I was afraid of. I was like, I don't want to deal with the guilt and the shame and the fucking condemnation of getting too close to you. I'd already seen him once before, and I controlled myself. But I told you, I had all these desires and these dirty thoughts. I was like, I'm just sitting there, and this thought comes out. I'm seeing it, and I say it. I was like, I just want to sit on your lap and feel what it feels like for you to rub your hands up and down my back. I have no idea. And he's like, you can't say that. And we're like, he's looking around like, what would people say? I'm like, I don't even care. I literally feel this. I see this in my mind. Like, I want to do this. But I didn't do anything like that. You know what I mean? And then after that, I was like, I'd already knew that this was even, I felt it inside of me. And I was like, you know, we can't be hanging out, bro. This is not cool because this is not right. I could start a whole conversation of you can't be hanging out with people when you got feelings like that for them. That's inappropriate. You know what I mean? Especially when they got a partner. This is not good. This is not good. You know what I mean? But then he tells me some shit that I done slept with this dude fucking 12 times. I'm like, well, maybe that's where those memories and feelings are coming from. Maybe it's a vision that I've already seen, and I already just want to feel what I've already seen and what's already happened. I don't know, but I see it. So then I end up seeing him, and it's like, I just let my heart free. And then what comes with it? The condemnation on him, though, not me, because I was free to let myself free. But he was not. And that's it. Do you fault him for, you know what I mean, for going back to his life and, you know, acting like nothing ever happened? Many will likely be drawn to the moths be drawn by moths to the beauty of your bright flame. Yeah, fucking twin flame bullshit. And that's where it is. It's like, I project on him for harnessing the dark feminine powers and using them against others. But since I'm the dark feminine, it's kind of just redundant. It's like, why am I yelling at you for who I am? For you being, you know what I mean, being so much like me? That's where the catch is. The catch 22. So, yeah, there's your, who wants to tell their story? And that's it. It's like, and I told this guy in the car like it was nothing. He's like, he got in my car, bro, and I heard it. I heard the whole story. This lady calls. She's like, yeah, well, so-and-so told me that you stole some shit. And he gets all quiet. He's like, yeah, so what'd they tell you? Yeah, well, yeah, but what'd they tell you? At no point did he admit or deny what the accusations was. All he wanted to know was, how does he defense this situation? Meaning, what did they tell you? What did they tell you? So when he hangs up the phone, he looks up, he's like, how's your day? I was like, hey, I'm a high priestess. I'm a dark high priestess. I'm a psychic bitch. And I can smell your darkness, and I just want to set you free. It's like, the truth will set you free. Whatever you did, just admit to your doings. If they ask you why, I said, tell the truth. I thought it was a good idea at the time, but now I'm seeing that I made a mistake. And all shall be forgiven. We all make mistakes. But if you go any deeper into this, now you're going to be having to ask for forgiveness for more than that. And people don't trust you when you lie. Right? And then I told him, I was like, take me for example. I just got caught up giving a married man a blowjob that I've loved forever. It's like, when this bitch comes at me and they ask me, did you do it? Yeah, I did, but let me explain. It's all in the explanation, bro. Explain yourself, and you can't don't dig yourself deeper. Just admit to what you've done and stand before what you've done. It's like, really? That's hot. It's like, no, it's not, bro. It's not. He thought it was so hot. It's like, it's not, bro. It's not. But that's it. It's like in the dark places, you see people running from their own shit. Like, ooh, who's chasing you? God, justice, karma. Oh yeah, let's talk about it. And that's what it means. They bring them to me. It's like, ooh, something's about to get them, and I get to talk light into them before it gets them, before your karma comes to you. It's your karma. I didn't put you in it. I just can see it all over you. I have a few minutes with you, a break in time to get you out of, you know what I mean, the condemnation of what you've done, to set you free with your own truth. Atone for your sins and walk your way out of this. Otherwise, you're going to be consumed by it. That's what I do. That's what I do. But I got to walk through my own shadows. Hey, that was a good healing. Let's go into our dark mirrors, as if we didn't know. If somebody... Here comes the king of it, R. Kelly. My mind's telling me no. That's your mind, dude. You're like, damn, I know I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. I should not do this. And that's what I told Tree. I told him something real lovely and sexing. I wonder if he remembers that message. I don't. I saved it and I posted it and I still couldn't read it. Cringe. Was it loving? It's in my post. I'm going to go check it out. It says something about making love to his body. I didn't even see him like that, bro. I didn't. He was like, I don't know how I saw him, bro. But then all of a sudden, that's what I said in that video. It's like, then I started Googling him, and I started seeing his body, and I was like, oh, God. When you look at people and you really give them a chance, you're like, hey, I could fuck with you. If I just stopped thinking stupidly, I could fuck with you. I couldn't fuck with him. Now I'm like, I don't fuck with you, bro. But you don't understand, and that's where I get all mad. And that's what I told Russ. I had to fight my ego to love you. Right? And then I love you, and you abandon me. Stories one, exhibit A through whatever, A, B, C, D, E, F, D, I fight everything in me to love you. Then I love you, and you run away from me, and now I've got to fight these feelings to keep loving you, but go love someone else, as God says. It is the most painful fucking bullshit. Ugh. And that you think that, and that's how I can love so many, because I never stopped loving them. I just had to, forgive them and accept with the time and space we had. I don't stop loving them. But you're always like, something fell out. You're always like, I hope they come back. And that's the Lilith. I hope she comes back. You fucking, what? And that's it. What would happen if he comes back? Where are we supposed to go from here? And that's it. Do it again. Do it better. Do more. We're limited to what we can do, and that's it. It's like, are we going to keep doing this? I'm just going to keep blowing you, having sexual experiences with you, and I can't have your babies, afraid of, commitment and shit. Come on. We're in our guilt of regret. Oh, gosh, I told you. Welcome to the darkness. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the names? Because we're the devils that can find anything you need. If you got the money, honey, Okay, enough. It's welcome to the jungle. Anyways, our guilted. Oh, it's another 5 card. 555, which is accelerated growth, but at the same time, let go. Let go of your guilt. Let go of your regret. Your shame. I ain't ashamed. we feel it. You do. You're like, why do you feel bad? Because somebody told you you should feel bad about that. Does God? That's where you have to know God. Because that's what I said. As much as I'm there, the universe was there watching me do this, bro. They sent me all the synchronicities. They taught me in the teachings, all of this. God walked me into that. You have to look at the story. I was brought to be brave and to be the sexual being that I was and use that part of me to love this man. A part of me that I wouldn't give to anyone else. And I was afraid to give back to him because I knew I would be faced with this outcome. I was afraid of the feelings of this outcome, but I knew this would be the outcome. And that's it. It's like we're afraid of the failure. This isn't gonna change anything. It's just gonna be something, you know what I mean? It's not, in the sense of, it wasn't gonna make, us become a relationship. Oh, God. But anyways, going back to it, it's like, the Holy Spirit brought me to that place. A place where you condemn. A place where you know what I mean? It's like, I don't feel bad for what I did. It took every ounce of strength to fight my mind, to follow my heart. And it's like, I knew this would happen. And I'd not fully, but I knew I wasn't going to, have a relationship with him after this happened. I just didn't fully understand. And what's happening is nothing more than what's always happened. I just never understood what would happen and how it would happen. Because again, I wasn't there. All right. Guilted regret. I feel like living in the past. Please give me 5 more minutes to linger. I said that a lot to him too, because he has all the memories. I was like, do you remember him? And he's like, gives me this look. Like, all the times? He's like, yeah. It's like, and I said that before when I was talking to him in Oklahoma. I was like, why do you want to so bad? Like, haven't you already... That was before he told me that we had slept. I thought we slept together like maybe 4 or 5 times. Fucking 10 to 12 times. Anyways, I'd already told him. I was like, what do you want anymore? It's very apparent you've had it all. You know what I mean? Like, why want more of something you've already had? Is what I kept saying to him. Right? As an elven queen with heavy eyes, her dress as blue as the clearest water, her crown of thorns and golden clawed flowers, holds a blue orb in her hand. Sentence. Memories are like floating underwater, safe, warm, and murky, yet they held the secret or the scent of death. Going dark. Ugh. The cage of our memories is the most gilded, lingering to the past, savoring crumbs and flashes, hints and ifs. But if our sword, there we go, however, is our shield, we find the river against the currents, we follow the river against the currents to the sea of maybes. We cannot say life is here now. We just say life was here. So that even when the future builds day by day, we still look backwards to memories and possibilities. Options we missed, things we lost, changes we fled. It's like staying in the twilight of consciousness, in the blessed state of those 5 minutes between the time the alarm rings and when you actually have to wake up. Like little kids between the time mom calls and the time we need to wake up and run. But those 5 minutes are taking up too much time. They are the drain of our energy and our opportunities and our future. The ifs are now gone. Whatever has been has already been, isn't it? And that's what I said. He popped up yesterday and again today. And that's just, you know what I mean? I teach you guys to put your attention and your focus. And that goes back to, there was a lot of mind training with Russ. I had to just say no every time he popped up. No, this is no good. Every time I have to face you, it just comes, it's no good for me. It's no good for me. In the sense of he'll do this again, and he'll do this again, and this is what it is, and this is what it's always been. And there's no growth, and there's no opportunity to keep repeating the same pattern. You know what I mean? And am I talking about Russ or Bobby or who? I'm telling you. You have to realize the patterns that are playing out. And you can't, sometimes all you can do is identify, like I told Marshall, you can only identify the patterns. You can't really break them until you have understanding, compassion, and love for where they came from, why they play out, and what you were getting out of it. I mean, why am I doing this? And that's the sad part, and that's what I told Marshall. For a moment in time, it was good just to have the conversation. And it's like, what do I miss? Do I miss what we did, or do I miss the connection? I lost the whole connection trying to take it somewhere else. At least going back and forth throughout the day in the conversation was more entertaining and more uplifting than, you know what I mean, one night stand. But that's it. Because what is the conversation about? One night stand. That's all it stands for. It's like, do you want, if I got what I wanted, and I pushed for, I want you to talk to me again. Why aren't you talking to me? Talk to me. What would I get if he talked to me? The same conversation with the same outcome. Because it's just a pattern. A karmic pattern between us. Karma being played out. That's it. There's nothing else but to learn the lesson. And keep learning it if you want. If I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. I've learned what happens. I wasn't sure. I had all of these feelings of what if. What if I would have just went with it? What if? And I kept holding back, and I wouldn't just go with it. So then the Holy Spirit kept pushing me to go with it. Just go with it and see what happens. But this is going to end bad. Maybe. Maybe. The last message I sent to him was like an hour after I'd seen him. I said, it was great to see you. It's like, give me some time to process my feelings, but I promise this won't be the same. And then later that night, I said goodnight, and that was the last message seen. That's all I said. Give me some time to process this, but I promise it won't be the same. And the time went on, and he just kept not talking to me. And I was like, okay, I processed this fine. Now I see what's happening. And that's where it was. It's like I didn't understand, and I thought it was me. But it was. But it wasn't. And that's where you realize you have compassion for the situations that you got so tied up in and so hurt about. I understand why I got so hurt last time, why I went so mad at you, why I felt so used, why I fucking, you know what I mean, I attacked you and tried to put you in such a place because of where you left me with those feelings. I didn't know how to process, you know what I mean, the silence of what we had just done. You know what I mean? When all I was trying to do was open up and love you. And that's kind of, you know, you see it there, and then you see it played everywhere. It's like every time I open up, I've fought. But that's the great thing about it, is they fucking, you love them so much that you're willing to fight your own fears. Every part of you that says, I could never. And yet you make it possible for yourself. And that's the fucked up part about a twin flame, is you think you're doing this, and this person, it's gonna, you know, you're gonna be with this person. But all you're doing is empowering, taking your power from this person, putting it back on yourself, and able to walk on. What? The drink. I moved it. I don't know right now. You just have to look. It's here. But those 5 minutes are taking up too much time, and that's it. It's like, you know, if you have unfinished business, then finish it, is what I'm saying about this. But don't keep staring at it. You know what I mean? Don't keep staring to the past. Because truthfully, you can't go forward. That's what I learned, is you can't go forward when you have unfinished business from the past. As much as I keep trying to go forward, I can't until I finish this with you. I can't have, you know what I mean? And that's it. I was crying. Dude, I'm on a video. I don't know where it is. But I've already realized, dude, this is never going to work. This isn't going to work. Just stop talking to him. right? And then I look up, I'm on a live video, and I'm literally in front of his job, and I start panicking. It's like, all I want to do is get away from you. All I want to do is get away from this situation. Just leave me alone. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to face this anymore. I'm tired of this. And it didn't go away. The only way I could make this go away is by actually facing it. And I was so afraid of what it was going to feel like to deal with this, to be that girl again, to, you know what I mean, to get that close again. I just had to face it. But I was scared, very scared indeed. And regret, I had so many regrets before because I didn't understand what was happening. I regretted everything about it. You know what I mean? I blame myself because all I was left with was myself. You must have done this. You did this. All you can see is what you've done and how this has happened. So, when he came to my house all those years ago, all I could see is like, what happened? What did you do? And you start analyzing yourself, and somehow what you've done is all wrong because it feels wrong of what's happening, and it must be your fault. And then you're just like, I will never do that. I will never be around you again because you made me do things that I regret. I was a different person with you, and I never will be that person again because I was left with all these feelings and all this condemnation, and people thought I was a bad person because all I was trying to do was get close to you. And I can say that about Bobby, Russ, every single one of you. All I was doing was trying to love you, and it was painful, and you were pushing me away, and you were hurting me, and you were hurting my feelings, and you were making me feel like I wasn't important, and you were telling people I was crazy, and God just kept telling me to love harder. I regretted ever fucking trying it a lot. Why did you even do that? And that was where I'd end up in Marshall's fucking DMs every Saturday morning. Why did I ever love them? I feel so stupid. They've humiliated me again. Why does God humiliate me like this? And that was Russ. Every time I would try to love him, he would be so hurtful and so mean and so... God. So vengeful about it. That I just turned cold towards him. It wasn't just him, though. That's the ego death. I'm seeing that thing with Lewis. How could I be so stupid? Why would I think he's so important? Why did I fucking praise him? Look at him. He's nothing more than a weak-ass man. Why did I put him above myself? And then you go back to it's like, love. And then you don't want to love because you do that. You love someone so much that you lose yourself in loving them. But it's a special thing because what I've realized is you can't control it. Why him? It's always that. Why is this guy? Why that? Why you? And that's why I'm like, where did you come from? Why don't you just go away? Like, why do I have all these feelings for you? I wish it would go away. You don't get to choose who you love. And you want to run away from it. And you don't want to give them love because of how many times it does not work out before them. And you can tell them all your stories of how you can't love them because this is what happened to you. Turn the heater on. Get ready to go, actually. We've been at this for an hour. I got to get through this real quick. So as far as regrets. Don't waste time on the past unless you have to face it, is what I got out of that. I got two things out of that. It's like, we regret what we've done, but we don't understand what has been done, is a lot of it. And we do that, too, is we face our shadows. Right now, I know I'm triggering you into your relationship status, and we're dealing with our relationships real hard. Always. Why? Because I'm the Lilith, and that's the core of our foundations, is our lack of connection to man and to God. Man. I'm not really good with women either. There's no stories of that. There's no stories of Lilith being with women. I'm sorry. You're not going to find that. It's not in my stories. Alright, so I went to this upstairs. Let's take this away. We're gonna pull this real fast. I gotta get my kids ready. You can hear him. He's snoring. I have to get them ready for a doctor's appointment. What time is it? I don't know either. Oh, we're totally doing fine, bro. It's only 9 o'clock. Slow the roll. Like, let me get out of that darkness and go to handle my life. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Is this hour out? Therapy hour at 55:09. All right. What's our shadows today? Termination. That's what I said. I shared this great thing. I was listening to it again this morning. Is if you were listening to UB40, or if you were listening to Red Wine when you were a kid, you'd be 40-ish now. I was like, So I put this post. I was like, 40 water. I was like, hey, Jesus turned water to wine, or did God turn a man into a god in 40 years? I was like, the sweeter the berry, or the older the berry, the sweeter the juice, is what came from this. And that's it. It's like cheese too. It's like when it matures. Remember those funny commercials for Kraft cheese? They're like, when it matures. I'm not matured. And that's how it is. It's fermentation. You got to give things, and that's the seeds. You got to give them time to grow, time to mature, time to heal, time to learn. It's like, that's what I said too. Is going back to Neo in the Matrix. It's like he's gonna pop, meaning it's too much. It's too much. Every ego death is too much. It kills you, bro. It destroys you to where you're in tears and you can't understand why you looked at things that way and now you see them a different way and you don't know how you're gonna live in this new way. How am I ever gonna live like this after I threw myself all over and he's just a weenie that's too scared to make music? Am I talking about Lewis or am I talking about fucking Tree? We just keep replaying these cycles. I'm getting off this shit, bro. I really am. But I have to get back on to get off. I get on. Okay, so patience and maturity means it's going to take time, dude. We're like baby steps. And that's Kobe. Kobe's so important to me. He's, we're still together always. But you got to understand, waking up with him, he was my drill sergeant for like literally a year and a half, nearly 2 years. And then he stepped back as the sergeant, you know what I mean? And he would just watch the games. And then little by little, he distanced himself, but always there, always watching from afar, you know what I mean? But still very busy in his own works. And I love Kobe so much. He got me there. And, and then it's like when I went into the light and I couldn't see Pac and any of them, but especially Pac, because by that time it was, Pac was carrying me through the last wing of that shit. I'm like, where are you? Why aren't you here? He's like, we haven't made it through the gates yet. And I cried so hard. And he's like, our job was to get you there. And they're on a level. You know what I mean? I go back and forth through these levels. So that meaning the tree of life. I go to the top and I bring it back down. Just as described in Dante's Inferno. I go to the top and I bring it down. And as I come through these levels, and that's what he said. It's like, will I ever see you again? Because they spent every day with me all day. And then all of a sudden I didn't hear them and I didn't see them anymore. He said, of course you can hear me always, can't you? I said, yeah. And that day he was in my video. He's like, didn't you hear me today? I said, yeah, but I can't see you. He said, because you're in the light and we're not there yet. I said, am I ever going to see you again? He said, anytime you step out of the light. And he meant that. And so when I get to, I leave God's kingdom and I come back down to bring these messages to earth, and I'm walking through earth and I put on the skin and I'm with the people again, and I'm not in meditation. He's there with me. You know what I mean? He is, like he promised. But Kobe, Kobe's, I can access him, but he's not, we've already, you know what I mean? I love Kobe. You don't understand. And it's like, there's your spirit guides, they guide you, and that's it. It's like you get these guides, and that's what it was, and that's what he told me. It's like, my job was done. I got you where you were supposed to be. And anytime you come out of there, I'm right there by your side, right? Kobe's job was to get me to push through the dark night of the soul. Just keep loving them. Just keep going. Just keep, but when is it going to end? When is it going to end? When am I going to be better? When is it going to be over? We'll get better. Just keep going. I always look to him like, when is it going to be over? When is it going to be over? Because he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And he taught me that it's never over. And that's a fucked up lesson, bro. But he taught me how to be better. And accept that in the patience and in the days, we get better. And that's where that winning mentality comes from. Is like, I didn't win today, but I still won because I learned how to be better. When I see this, patience and maturity, that's what he teaches. But he teaches endurance. He teaches that, he teaches drive. He teaches all these things, but he's no longer just, he taught me well. And that was, when they lost Master Yugwe, it's like, I'm not ready. Don't leave me. I'll never leave you. But I must go on. And he's like, even though he's not here teaching me, he doesn't have to teach me. He already taught me. But I know I can see him, you know what I mean? Like, it's like he's here right now. This is Kobe. And though he doesn't stand here teaching me to teach you, because he already taught me, and he's teaching others. Kobe is the guide of the dark night of the soul that keeps you going through those darknesses, that keeps you. And with Pac's voice, Shorty, keep your head up. Pac's voice of the streets, why God, bro. You know what I mean? Pac's playing the music. Fucking Archangel Michael's keeping your heart filled with love, and Kobe's keeping you pushing, bro. They are a fucking, you know what I mean? A trinity that kept me going. But when I think about it, it's like, where did the patience come from? Kobe. And he says it in all his videos. I saw him again this morning. He had so much patience in understanding that it's not about today, but it's all about today. Today is all important, but not in what we can come up with today, but what we can learn from today. Where we can grow today. And that's the maturity, is like, and that's what he says. It's like you do it for 5 years, 10 years. Look at where you've been. You know what I mean? It's easy to say Marshall's a god, but he's been doing it since then. It's easy to say that Lewis is the best, but he's been doing it since he was 8 fucking years old. That's all he knows, you know what I mean? It's like, and then I think about what LL Cool J said about him, and it's like, you wonder why I called him a bitch. This man, this master of the skill, you called it, you know what I mean, a student. In a sense, yeah, to be a great master you should, but who are you to say when you're out of the game? You know what I mean? Respect his authority. I return to Scorpio. Yeah, we talked about him. What number is that? 41. Pretty wonderful. It comes with time. Patience is the virtue, and that's where we've been for a long time. Extremely powerful to the practice of an alchemist. And again, we're still. What am I doing? I'm being as still as possible, bro. I'm not doing anything that God doesn't say. I'm right back where I started, where I'm just listening to God all day. You know what I mean? If he doesn't tell me to go to work, I don't go to work. If he doesn't tell me to do nothing, I'm not doing nothing. I'm literally just listening. Change doesn't happen overnight. There's Kobe. When the Firmination Oracle card shows up, it's time to pause and allow the universe to create your soul's purpose. That's what I've been saying all week. All we're doing is working on our feelings, and they're creating a new world for us for this new year. They're creating a new blueprint for us based on what we've got, where we're at. All right? It's your tax forms, I guess. They're putting, you know what I mean? They're going to decide what they're going to give you for this year. Allow wisdom and time and maturity to develop around your newfound spiritual goals. An identity you are stepping into. That's another thing, too, is like, I've stepped into a very high level of my priesthood. And I said that I have all the most respect to all of my subscribers who haven't run. When I start talking deep, going deep like that, people run. They run to the hills. But I guess the hills are on fire, so there's not really anywhere to run, and you can only see the truth. But usually people are like, I've had enough. She's crazy. This is too much. Yeah, you pop. You've had enough and you run. And I'm very proud of you, but at the same time, I understand the depth of my messages too that are coming out. I've stepped into a new level. And that's it too. It's like, how am I supposed to relate to this? You're not. Can't you just be a supporting husband to me? Can't you just be the submissive? Can you be the Eve? Can you play that role? It's unfair, I know. The reverse of the roles, but it has to be, and it has to be balanced. If you want me to submit to you, then you must submit to me, and we submit to God. And this was the role of the freaking man in the house. For me and my family will serve the Lord. A woman could turn to her man, and her man would guide her through God. But that's not how it is anymore. You must turn to your woman to be guided through the Spirit. And the man, like, really? You guys want to do all this extra, role-playing? This could be by signing up for that astrology course, taking an improv class to develop your presence and confidence, or seeking a mentor to learn the ropes of the potential career. Soul alignment requires repetition in order for it to become second nature. Again, there's Kobe all over this. Fermentation is the chemical breakdown of a substance by bacteria, yeast, or other microorganisms. It is essential for making foods like wine, cheese, kombucha, beer, liquor, kimchi, sauerkraut, and cheese. This is when the substance turns into an entirely different chemical form over time. A spiritual metaphor for entering higher octaves of consciousness. You have moved past the dark night of the soul, and that's what I said, how I lost him, and released that no longer serves you. Now is the time to embody your sun and continue to develop it. This comes on a Monday, bro. But we're all over the place. This comes on a Monday, where you've really faced it on a Friday, which obviously I've told you what I'm facing. It happened real fast. Sometimes you don't. You just can't face it. You're like, oh, I can't face this. It hurts. You can't accept it. It's not that you can't face it. You just can't wrap your mind around it to just accept it. So you just keep going around it over and over and over. You're trying to deny that this is what it is. Trying to make excuses. Trying to change what you've just seen. No, it's not really like that. You're tripping, but you can't. Your mind it can't wrap itself around there. So usually that happens on a Friday. Then by Saturday, you're really like just hurt by the new truth that you have to accept this and it's over. And it hurts so bad. You're like, I can't go back to where I came from, and I hurt so bad. Those are those messages I send to fucking Marshall. And then by Sunday, you're kind of numb. I gotta be honest, it doesn't matter right at the moment. It's kind of like, it's where they numb you from it. You go into, the shock is over and you don't feel it. By Monday, you're starting to feel it again. You're like, you really feel it because you're in your mind. Now your mind hurts because of what it's been through, but it has no choice but to accept it because now it's happened. 3 days later, it's over. And now all you're left with is the ash of what's happened and the feelings of it. By Tuesday, now is the fermentation. You're like, now you're really, you have no, it's done. Now the fourth day. And that's what they say about, making it a habit. But it's hard, bro. It's hard the first day, the first couple days. It's really hard. And that's all it is. It's like you look at your thoughts. The way you feel about things changes. That's what this means. You felt some way about it, and now it's changed. And you have to walk in those new feelings. But in order to do it, it's going to break your ego because of what you think. How bad this is going to hurt if you start acting differently because of what you've seen. I saw Libra on the bottom of it. And I have one other card before we go. So, yeah, and I can't put it all together. You can hear all these feelings coming out of me. I've learned to let them come out, to wash my feelings, to let it, because the feeling is tears. Pain, suffering, regret, shame, embarrassment, loneliness, all of that makes you want to cry. So when I talk of those things, I go into those feelings, and that's what the feeling is crying. You must learn to understand that, and that's all I ever did was cry. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. When you wake up, you're a brand new baby, and that's all you do is everything hurts. Everything you see hurts. Everybody's touch hurts. Everything you put on, everything you take off, everything hurts. It's a hard thing. Let's see where we are with the angels. What are we at? 49. Oh, I said Kanye and Royce were the oldest. That's not true. It's Kanye and Marshall. But Royce be acting all old and wise and shit with his bullshit. Fucking what you... Oh, that's not English. Alright, let's see. The great and exalted God. What is this? Viehuel? Oh man, it starts with another invocation again. Magnus Domias et ludabilis nimis et magnitudinius ejus nos est finis. The first angel belonging to the chorus of the principalities. Now we've shifted into the principalities. Infused dynamic and active energy, capable of elevating us to greatness of the higher planes by giving us a clear and more rational vision which to act. Okay, that's what they gave to me. They're like, they'll never leave their queens for the housemaid of God. Because a commitment to you means a commitment to God. Right? Is what they gave me. A way to accept. A newer version. You know what I mean? A higher, what did it say right here? With higher planes of giving us a clearer, more rational vision with which to act. Okay? No longer motivated solely by desires, which we will be able to control and illuminate with the flame from the primordial hearth. This flame will grant us knowledge that unites us with the universe, a knowledge we had forgotten. Introversion can cause everything to drip down into ashes, fueling selfish feelings that will isolate us from the world, causing hatred and hypocrisy. And that's it. They're trying to find a way to let you let go, but if you don't let go, then you're just going to be left with those harsh feelings, right? All right, number 49, the principalities, the Queen of Wands. I said that yesterday, the fire sign. The planet is Uranus, Sagittarius, Erotesic is the Five of Wands, which is defeat. These are heavy duty. I really would like to break this all down for you, but that means I have to pull out 5, 6 different more cards, and we're going to go too deep, and I don't have time for this. So that is your homework today. The Queen of Wands is that of the woman who uses her magic. She's called Midsummer in the hottest days. Uranus, we pulled yesterday too. Uranus is what she calls it. Is the spark of the spark of genius. Sagittarius is the adventurous side. We pulled that yesterday. The Five of Wands is defeat, I believe. Now I'm curious. Hold on. CJ, wake up, bud. A doctor's appointment. Let me show you in my book. I went to the Princess of Cups of Nasa. 9 of Cups. We're in Wands. Alright, the Five of Wands is strife. We're fighting. Alright, let me give you this real quick. Things are going to get rough, and it might even seem as everyone and everything is against you. When you walk in your heart, that's exactly how it happens. Perhaps everyone is trying to get their viewpoints across, and no one is listening to anyone. Oh yeah, I heard some crazy shit that somebody started all these fires. Competition can be useful and spur people into great things, but do not use negative energy of wands for quarreling. Use the powerful power to stay fast in your resolve. The conflict in this card can be an inner one. You might feel as though people are making so many demands on your time and energy that you can't cope, that your head is fighting your heart, or that you are called upon to do something that you consider unethical. Well, I told you my story. And that's to follow your heart is unethical. That's what he said. You can't just do what makes you feel good. Really? Did it make you feel good? How'd it feel? Again, sorry. He doesn't know how to feel good. Sorry. The Five of Wands can also indicate that you are in danger of becoming carried away in following a dream and not noticing what is actually going on around you. Reality is about to intrude. You are being rather selfish and things are starting to fall apart even if you haven't noticed it yet. Told you. Unless you start to pay attention, you will lose that you have, including those you love. Spiritually, this card indicates that you are ungrounded, getting carried away in the self-centered fashion with ideas and visions. You are ignoring mundane matters that need to be dealt with and people who need you. This is a serious lack of balance and not a spiritual progress. Reverse meaning. You seem to be angry with the world in general, provoking unnecessary arguments, making cutting remarks, and indulging in compulsive and unnecessary competition with others. You are hurting inside and you're trying to hurt others in turn. This is not going to heal your pain or make you any friends. You must confront the real reason for your anger and take steps to deal with it. Okay. Let's pull our card here. The conflict can maybe be an inner one. I'm not there. What's going on around you? No, I guess spiritually. This card, maybe you're ungrounded, getting carried away in self-centered fashion and ideas and visions. You're ignoring mundane matters that need to be dealt with and people who need you. This is a serious lack of balance and not real spot. I don't know where I fit in this. Tell me where I fit. Show me where I fit in this. Things are getting rough and it might seem as everyone and everything is against you. Yeah. Perhaps everyone's trying to get their viewpoint across and no one is listening to anyone. Yeah? Competition can be useful and spur people into great things. You may feel as that people are making so many demands on your time and energy you can't cope, that your head is fighting. I don't fit in this. I don't know where I fit in this. Unless it's, I'm going to be called to do something unethical. Again. I'll be there. Alright, let's go to the Queen of Wands real quick. And I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. See? Midsummer. Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is the most positive card in the deck, heralds bright, fertile phase in your life. This is because your creative power is at a full flood. Now could be the time when you create your masterpiece, whatever form it takes. And that's it. I'm the only one that can see what's happening. And I'm able to show you what's happening. You feel self-assured and optimistic, knowing exactly where you're going and feel strong enough to get there. Whatever obstacles lie in your way, you will deal with them. And that's it. My faith is stronger than your fucking whatever's happening outside. The Queen of Wands may be a woman in your life like me that is a boss, lover, teacher, friend. I am a strong, focused leader who is not afraid to use my power, attracting others with my positive energy, vision, passion, and brilliant organizational skills. I'm good-hearted and friendly, always honest, sincere, well-meaning, and fiercely loyal. However, I'm more than a bit fiery, and I lose my temper if you get on my bad side. But I will instantly forget it and give you a hug. However, I'm not invincible, and I burn myself out with my many projects. Even if you try to make the impression otherwise, reverse possibility, you've recently lost confidence in yourself and feel as though your inner fire has been doused. Perhaps you have been so busy that you've burnt out, or are you ill? Don't try to make yourself bitter by putting other people down, because it won't work. The reverse queen may be a person in your life, a boss, colleague, friend, mother, or lover. Bitter experiences have made them self-important and self-centered, determined to get their own way by whatever means necessary. They can be spiteful, manipulative, interfering, and demanding, tactless, bad temper, I'm seeing the ex-husband, and domineering. An unpleasant atmosphere surrounds them, and they resent anyone's success but their own, though their behavior means they are unlikely to be successful. Cross them in any way, and they will not rest until they get their revenge. And that's it. He's all of this shit. He's such a bitch. He's all that shit, bro. Yeah, he's all of that shit, bro. Like he's a man. He's a bisexual man, but yeah, his divine feminine is all of this, bro. He makes himself all self-important and self-centered. You know what I mean? He is determined to get his own way by whatever means necessary. He will lie, steal, kill, and cheat. So is my brother. You know what I mean? There's some of them that are just, they're not. They were beyond the streets when they came to the streets, and all they did was rob the streets too. They'll rob you and you know what I mean? What's the difference between a crackhead and a tweaker? What does that mean? What's the difference between someone that uses cocaine and someone that uses meth? When your wallet comes up missing, the crackhead or the person that does cocaine will come to you and tell you that they stole it. The fucking meth head, the tweaker, they'll sit there and lie to your face and help you look for it. It's not that one drug is better than the other. They affect people differently, and they're a different type of people you're fucking dealing with. What's up with the potheads? We're going to feed you and laugh with you and sleep with you. Like pass out in the sense of we might. We're very loving beings. But you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like, not everyone that drinks, gets all shit-faced and fucking violent and fucking acts crazy off of fucking, you know what I mean? Fucking, tequila. Not everybody is the same. And so when you're in our feelings, when we're in our, in our fire feelings of our divine feminine, there's people like me that have positive energy, vision, passion, brilliant organizational skills that are good-hearted and friendly. Then there's people like that I attract, the very opposite of me, which are manipulative, interfering, demanding, tactless, bad-tempered, and domineering. You could say that this is the empath to the sociopath, or I mean the narcissist, paradigm, but that's it, opposites, you know what I mean, in the sense. Cross him in any way and he will not rest till he gets his revenge. Meaning, why is he bothering me? Because he's not getting his way. He can't. What does he want? Nothing more than to push himself into our lives and have some power and dominion over it. He doesn't want a relationship. He doesn't want to pay his fucking child support. He doesn't want to face, any of the kids and his responsibilities. He just wants to be part. When God surely put your ass far apart, bitter experiences has made him self-important, self-centered. All right? Am I talking about your baby daddy, your girlfriend? Who? Who are we talking about here? You're on one side or the other. Quit flip-flopping. All right, anyways, I gotta go, guys. What are we working on? Relationships, being brave, following your heart, doing what doesn't look right on paper but feels right in the heart, facing the damnation of what it's going to do, going back to bad relationships and having to accept that, it wasn't a bad relationship, it just made you feel bad because you didn't get what you wanted. What a fucked up situation, right? And that's what I said too, is like, why, if I, in a childlike form, like I was when I woke up, why are you treating me like this? Did I do something wrong? Did you not like what I did? Why am I in trouble for what I did? All I tried to do was love you. You know what I mean? So if I go back to that lower version of thinking of where I was when I gave him the last blowjob, it's like, was it not good enough? Did you want more? Should I have done more? If I would have said more, what did I say that was wrong? What did I do that was wrong that now you don't love me anymore? Is that true? Does he not love me anymore? Did I do anything wrong? Or this just didn't work out? Right? Some situations, and you have to have compassion for it. And I didn't, because I didn't understand. You can't have compassion for things you don't know exist and that you don't understand. So we're here to understand some shit. And I know I sparked some shit in you guys. I cried. I gotta go. I love you guys. Do the hard work. Just face it. Just face the relationships. Just face it so that you can get over them. You can't have a better relationship if you're still holding on to old relationships. And you know what I mean? And what ifs and pains and memories and, it's the what ifs. It's the what ifs. If I could actually tell you what kept bringing me back is what if? What if I would have just acted differently with you? What if I would have? And what if I would have done exactly what Tree said all that long time ago? I have no regrets with Tree. I was brave. I faced the what if. I gave myself a chance with him, and he rejected me, and it was over. I didn't give myself a chance. I mean, I did, but I didn't understand what happened after. And I wouldn't give myself a chance to do that again. But I had to give myself a chance, and that's it. It's like when I met Tree and I told him all these feelings I was having, and I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what's happening to me. I have all these feelings for this person, and I know it's wrong, and I'm just trying to control it, and I can't make it go away. And you know what he told me? You're trying to fight the water, bro. Just go with the flow. And he was the first person to tell me to go with my feelings. And so I started to explore them, and I went with them, and they led me into a place of that song that we made, Tree. That song. I talked to Tree the night before. I was going to the studio to finish up my album. I'm finishing up my album. I'm about to release it. He's like, hey, what happened? I thought we were going to do a song together. I was like, bro, the album's over. Right? So I go to show up at the studio, and Pro Tools is down. The whole system is down. But Raj is an asshole. He didn't call me and tell me that it's been down all day. He waits till I show up there. And I'm sitting there for like 30 minutes. He's like, I don't know, Luck. Then I get a text from Bobby. Or I get a call from Bobby. He's like, I got some time. Do you want to meet up? And it's like, the universe opened up. And so I go and I meet up with him. And then I hook up with him. And then I fucking got shoved into all this trauma. And I end up at the ER. And I'm dealing with all this shit. And it was the worst experience of my life. And the next morning I get home and I eat some mushrooms. And I write a song about what's just happened. And I call Tree. And I said, dude, because my lab time the night before got rescheduled. He's like, just come in tomorrow. I was like, what time? He's like, how about 11? I'm like, cool, that's perfect. And so I called Tree and I'm like, dude, I just had a fucked up night, and I'm gonna add a song to my album about this, that, and the other. And I was like, he's like, I don't do music in the daytime. I was like, I know, but here, check, I'm gonna send you the beat. And I sent him the beat. He's like, what time is your lab time? I was like, 11 o'clock. I said, bet, I'll see you there. And then I get hyped, right? So now I'm hyped, right? I've taken my pain, I've alchemized it, I've taken this fucked up situation, I'm about to make a song about it. And my best friend's going to get in on this song, and we've never made a song. Now I realize that I'm going to go see Raj, and Hana will be there. She's another friend that I work with that does a lot of fucking vocals with me. I'm like, dude, I can have her do this hook, and it'll sound super, super tight, because she's got that girly voice. I'm like, yes, right? And then I remember the week before on my birthday when I was all sad about him and making this other love song to him, how I had met Priest on my birthday, and Priest helped me make this other song for him. So I called Priest, I got some studio time, I'm about to make this hit, you want to get in on it? He's like, I don't really do no studio time in the daytime, but yeah, I'll see what's up, what time? I was like, I'll meet you at GBL at 11. It's like, alright, that's what's up. He didn't even hear the beat, he just said he was going to. Then I call Meezy. I'm like, Meezy, you want to get in on this beat? It's the second beat of the first song that we did together. They sent me a 2-part of this beat. You're going to love this beat, bro, just like you love the other one. Because I had done a song with Meezy. He's like, I'll see what's up. Then later I tell Meezy that all of us are showing up. And Meezy gets his tail between his legs and he don't show up. We get there and it fucking bams, bro. I've got a verse and a hook ready. And then I'm going to give the hook to fucking Hana. Tree's got a verse. As soon as the beat drops, Priest is all over this shit. He's like, oh yeah. We make this killer song in 2 hours, right? It's unbelievable, but it's all about this fucking situation that my first sexual experience with this guy and how it went all sour, right? Now, as my cries to yesterday, it's like I got so mad at the men, at Russ. He kept making music off of my fucking experiences. Why? Because he's not living anything in his own life, and that's why his music sucks, because they don't relate. And when he talks about his life, it's just sad and disgusting. You haven't learned anything new. It's the same old music, and that's where all of them are. So they sit there studying me, trying to take my experiences and turn it into a song. You know what I mean? So they can make money and make themselves, and that was very hurtful for me, because you're taking my experiences and making money off of them and making all of this shit. But all I'm getting is, the healing out of it, which is far more important, because you're unhealed and they're just words. You're telling my story for me, is what God said. But going back to it, it's like, all this happened, right? And I fought it, and I was so upset, and I made this fucking killer song, and I'm like, telling them that, I'll upload this song. I gotta play that song. Oh, God. Millie, where's your old phone? You want to hear this song we made? So then we make this song, right? And it's killer. And I'm working on it, getting it done. And then I go into a new level of healing, where I realize, I see the memories of my child's sexual abuse, and I realize that my mom had the biggest part to play. On this day, fucking Tree is blasting our brand new song that I haven't actually fully released yet on the internet. He's playing it in his car like he always does, licensing without permission, without nothing. I'm like, bro, you got to pull that down. I'm dealing with the deep, darkest shadow work, and I got my best friend trying to blast out my biggest, best new song. And I'm like, you got to pull it down. He's like, no, but I'm on the song. And he goes into this big battle with me while I'm doing all this shit. How does it all end? I just swing on the motherfucker, bro. Is really what happened. What had happened was, let me show you this song that I make. This really happened. My life is unreal. And luckily for me, oh no, I hope she didn't, maybe it's in my drive, obviously. So, like, I've been through all this shit with these guys, but it's like, you have no idea how hard I fought. What was the name of that song? Oh, it's right there. It's right there. Let's see. It's not in here. I have no idea where I have these things saved, dude. They're saved somewhere in my, something. Is it in here? Nope. Must be in my music or something. Millie gets a hold of this, and I don't know. Again, it's just old music, but it was just, we got into this huge thing. So then we get into this big old fight, and then later on, you know, it mends. And then God tells me to be brave. And no, this is where it all happens. We mend all these hard times and shit. And I get together. It's my album release party. Or it's not. It's the day I release my album. And I'm guided to go to the studio where all these people that have made my album with me are there. And it's not in here. I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea what she did with it. Maybe it's in these files. I don't know. My daughter messes with all this stuff. So I end up there, and we're having this get-together, and all of a sudden I look over. I'm talking to Raj and Hana about my situation with Bobby and my twin flame. And I look over. It's not in here. I don't know where it is. It might be gone forever. I really don't know. It was a big deal. It was a huge fight. It was an amazing song. It's somewhere. I'll find it. Who cares? I mean, I did. I spent, like, you know, shit, $15,000 on that album. I mean, I really did. Spent thousands of dollars on that album. But anyways, going back to it, I'm sitting there, and we're having this little get-together, and I'm excited because by this time I'm real spiritual, and God's really not letting me out. But on this night, he lets me out, and I get to see everybody, and I'm sitting there, and I look over, and I see this look in Tree's eyes. And he's, like, saying the I love you, right? He's giving me the I love you eyes, and I'm like, huh? And all of a sudden, as quick as I saw it, is as quick as the energy shift. And now all of a sudden, something has shifted in the room. You look back, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, I'll see you next time. And everybody's getting up, and everybody's saying goodbye. And just, you know, it's like one of those moments where everybody starts running, and you just start moving. And I'm like, okay, so, you know, we're all leaving or something? And so he's getting ready to leave, and he runs out with the crowd. And I go out to the car, and he's in his car. And I look at him. And tomorrow never came. And where I just saw something, and I was like, I dealt with it. I was like, I know what I saw. And I had to deal with these feelings, right? And all of a sudden I came up with these feelings inside of me is like, he likes you. Do you like him back? No, I could never. And I spent, like, I don't know, probably 2 weeks through the I could nevers. Finally to a place where God was like, you need to be brave and admit that you do like him, and you could like him, and you would give him a chance. Give him a chance and give yourself a chance is ultimately what the very first video is about. And it's like, you have no idea how hard it was to fight just to like you, just to admit that I liked you. And that goes back to Bobby and every single one of you, just to admit that I liked you, and then to walk in that liking, and to walk so close to you, and to give so much of myself to you, only for you to spit in my fucking face. It's painful. But in the end, I'm so brave, because look at how hard you fought just to love someone. Even though they didn't want it, and all you did was want to love them, even though you didn't want to. It was so hard. All I wanted to do was stop loving you. Please, God, why did you make me love this man? No, you fucking love that man. No, I fucking hate them. No, you don't. Love them. Love them. Love them. It was such a fucking battle to love you. And when you fight that hard to love someone, you don't just stop loving them. But it's not about that, you know what I mean? Going back to your relationships, it's like you don't want to fucking lose your relationship because you fought so hard. And that's Bobby. He's like, he's got 2 child supports. He's got his whole family he'll lose everything. It's like you just move out. Just keep paying the bills. Keep doing this shit. What do you lose in loving me? You have more you get more. You don't lose what you have. You lose this. That's Russ. You don't lose nothing. You're gonna lose your mother. When God comes and gets that bitch, you ain't going nowhere. She knows where you live, Nika. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? That was Bobby. I never told you to give up your kids. I told you not to go home. Like, that won't be your home anymore. You know what I mean? In that sense. But that's it. It's like you created this home that you can't leave. Well, I hope God doesn't set it on fire and make you have to find a new way to live. You know, and that's it. It's like, he didn't even know I was homeless. And all those things didn't stop him from loving me or lusting. But that's it. It's like, you know, did I not lust him right? Shut up. Shut up. You know, and that's it. It's like, why didn't this work? Because it wasn't meant to work. And that's, you know, that's where you give up. It's like, it doesn't matter how much I love you. It's not going to make you brave enough to love me back. It's all about me being brave enough to love you. Whoever you are, when these feelings come, to walk in them. Am I walking in love towards... No, I'm telling him to get away from me. I love you, Wolfman, for all different reasons. Yeah, that's the end of mine. Why? God gave me a love for you that I don't fully understand. And I can see why, and there's plenty to love about you. And the things I don't like about you are things I don't like about myself. And it really has nothing to do with you, as you can see. But it really does, because all those things about you that I may not like, I am learning to love. And I'll even love the things I don't like about you when this is all done. And that's how this works. All the things I don't like about Russ, I've learned to have compassion and I've learned to have love for. You learn to love the things you don't like, and really it's just things about yourself that you just have to reprogram about yourself. So, you know, you're stuck in it. And I was like, be a fucking twin flame, because this is exactly what happens with the twin flame journey. It's like, do I get a man out of this one? Do I get your tongue? I'm tired of being the only one putting their tongue out there. That was a good one. That was a good one. Ah, that was great. I love it. All right, I gotta go, guys. I really do. Later, haters.